And now, podcasting from the sun-scorched desert Southwest, weighing in at a combined total of 340 pounds, Brad Winchester, Tyler McDowell-Blanken, are Gimmick Infringement.
Welcome, everybody, to the Gimmick Infringement Podcast. I am Brad Winchester, and with me, as always, is my tag team partner, Tyler McDowell-Blanken. Tyler, it's Sunday as we record. As always, I am so thankful to be in a pair of headphones instead of on a headset. How are you today?
I am blessed, man. Doing so well. It is great to see you, especially after such a big week for you. I know we're going to get into it shortly, but I'm doing great, man. I'm so glad you're on spring break. We are getting closer and closer to the end of the semester here. So I am chilling, man. How about you? How are you?
Good. Tired. Exhausted. Really. Really tired. I did, we had tech. Well, we had dress. We had tech rehearsal and tech week not last week. I guess it's Sunday and it'll be Monday by the time this airs. But I guess the week before that was tech week all week. And then on last Saturday, we spent the day in the theater building this monstrous scaffolding. We put it up in 8 hours. And then the rest of the week we spent, refining it and getting it all put together and putting signs on it and doing all of this stuff down to the details, down to, I want to have a rag hanging out of that bucket that we're going to put on the top. So we have this extra fabric, but it's too white. So let's dye it so that it's gray or black. Cause we don't want it to stand out. We want it to be up there and noticeable, but we don't want it to be a highlight. And it was just a lot of little detail stuff as I slap my microphone. And it was a lot. It was a long week, 16-hour days, 3 days straight, right into break. And you asked me like, it must be purposeful. You asked me off air, it must be purposeful. Do you plan it to do that where you do a show and then you go into spring break and you have the long weekend and you have the time off? Yes. And it's the worst. It is the worst. Tyler, I don't know what the hell to do with my life. I went from 16 hours a day with 8 of those being inside of that theater to nothing, like just nothing. I can't even go, I will throw myself into work because I don't have that right now. It should be relaxing, but it's like, I do all this stuff, stop. And it's just like, it's like pausing a song in my classroom instead of dropping the volume off a little bit and then stopping the song. If I'm listening to a song I really like and I just hit pause and it just sort of stops abruptly, it's that weird feeling afterward where you're like, that's supposed to keep going. That was weird. That shock, that will last me through the week. So not looking forward to that part, but I am looking forward to spending time with my family who hasn't left me after just simply not being around here for a while,
which
now.
Is good news. Yeah, they're still there.
Yeah.
Shout out Freya and Jess. I think we'll talk about them again later on. But yeah, man, that's so indicative of just the school year in general, right?
Yes.
And luckily we have these strategic breaks. I know in Tucson/Miranda we get a rodeo break,
right?
Which was brand new to me. But we get rodeo break. We have these strategically placed moments that we can exhale. But yeah, especially for 1 week, you go from your schedule of teaching and working on theater to now, wait, I don't have a meeting to go do. I don't have a set to build or great kids to mentor and coach. What is this life?
Yeah, it's really weird. It becomes
Assassin's Creed and family time.
I deleted it off the Xbox. I don't want it on there.
No way.
I deleted a lot of stuff off of there because I was like, I'm clearing space for something new. Maybe I thought maybe I'll just go play some Gears. I haven't played Gears of War in a while. I'll fire that up. But I thought about getting the Harry Potter game. I thought about doing some other stuff on the Switch.
Yeah.
But I think
WWE 2K23?
Absolutely not. No, I'm good.
Really? Okay. Maybe when it goes down in price, the price is kind of absurd when it first
the price for 2022 is down. I'm good. I don't, not really my jam. Like cool look and everything.
Yeah.
And that's it. That's all I get out of that. I don't like sports games, but I just don't. Unless it's on a Nintendo.
I thought you would be here for this one.
RBI baseball, sure. maybe some baseball stars. RBI Baseball 2 specifically. My favorite.
MLB Slugfest with A-Rod on the cover. That was my game back in the day.
Yeah.
Texas Rangers A-Rod.
Some NBA Live 95.
NBA Live.
Yeah.
Deep cut.
Right.
NBA Ballers.
NBA
Stephon Marbury.
Yeah.
That game was way better than we gave it
Some
credit
Street.
For, alas.
Play some Street.
Of course. Volume 2. Let's go.
Yes. Oh, yeah. So good. Or like
Dr. J on the cover.
Maybe some NFL 2K. I'd be down with that.
Yeah.
Even Madden 2005. I loved that game. The first game with the hit stick before they changed the kicking mechanics. I really enjoyed that game. I like sports games. I don't like combat sports games. I don't like fighting games. I get too frustrated. So
I forgot this about you.
Well, like if I have to figure out like how to unlock a combination of shit just so I can punch a guy in the goddamn face, I'm good. Like I don't like, what am I doing this? I don't want to do this. Wow. I hate that stuff. Okay. Like playing Mortal Kombat and having to do like the quarter round turn on the D-pad to like throw a spear or whatever. I don't want to do that. Like I have no interest.
Well, I'll say this, listeners, viewers of GI, I will work diligently to persuade Brad. I'll just be heavy-handed with the WWE 2K propaganda. I'm going to look out for sales. Just Brad, be forewarned that I'm not giving up on you in WWE 2K and your overall distaste with combat sports games.
Well, it's like I'm getting AEW Wait Forever because like that game's
never going to come out, man. No,
probably never. No,
I hope you didn't pre-order it. It's never going to come out.
No, I didn't pay anything for it, but I'll get that when that comes out. I'll buy that because I have faith. If my favorite wrestling game is WCW NWO. Like that versus game, Revenge, was so good. The creative character was great, but I like the arcade style combat where it's like, I'd rather button mash than have to do combinations. It's what I hated about the older WWF games. I didn't want to play them because I was like, I don't want to have to learn, like, I shouldn't need a TI-85 manual to figure out a wrestling game. I just shouldn't. Like, I'm good.
Yeah.
I don't like that stuff. I hate that stuff so much.
I will tell you this. I haven't, you may have already known this, but I didn't officially confirm with you. I did scoop the new WWE 2K game.
Oh, I knew you had.
You know it. Yeah, it's just sitting right to my left here. As a matter of fact, he's right here. I will confess though, I am a dinosaur, and I still don't understand why you have to load games onto your system, which takes several hours for me. And if you leave your Xbox, if you leave it idle, the progress ends up stopping, and then the TV shuts off. So anyway, it's been a multi-day process to upload this game to my Xbox. The homepage looks amazing. The welcome screen looks dope. Xavier Woods on there, but I haven't played yet. So stay tuned for the official review. But I am hopeful. And we're going to have a follow-up segment at some point down the road in which we get your review of this game.
I think what the problem is that you're playing it on a 1 and not a Series S or a Series X. Number 2, you got to change your power settings. Turn that saver shit off. Like that's all you got to do. And
is that the secret? I got to figure this out.
It's shutting off because the settings say it's going to shut off. Just turn all that off, and then it'll take an Xbox 1 hour to load it, but it'll load.
I figured there has to be a way to make this more efficient. As someone who's not a huge gamer, I'm like, wait, it's 2023, man. There has to be a better way to upload these games.
I had to change mine to never turn off because we would watch AEW pay-per-views, and by the time it would get to the main event, my Xbox would shut off.
Oh no!
Because I wouldn't touch the remote. Yeah,
power settings.
Yeah, because it's like 5 hours, but I watched the pre-show. So with the pre-show on, and then it goes all the way through. It's like, all right, this thing has been 4 hours, or I was waiting or whatever. And it's been 4 hours. And then it's like Kenny Omega and John Moxley about to go into the terrible light show finish of that barbed wire death match. Yeah, I missed the middle of the whole match because I was frantically trying to relog in and get everything turned on because it just shut off. Yeah. Turn all that off and you'll be good to go.
Okay. Noted.
And then you'll be able to play your WWE Mortal Kombat game.
Well, speaking of WWE, busy week in World Wrestling Entertainment. Are you ready for my question?
Yeah, let's get into it.
And now, it's time to talk WWE.
Sweet. So we are less than 2 weeks away from Wrestlemania, as you may have heard, my man. While the builds to both the women's title programs haven't been top tier, I think we can agree on that. I believe both matches will deliver, right? We got Asuka versus Bianca
Mhm.
Belair,
You're
Charlotte
making me
versus.
nervous here.
It's gonna be amazing. I know that's an earth-shattering take. We all know those 4 women are incredible. But man, how can we not open the show by discussing the Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens embrace on SmackDown? Long time coming. These guys are so good. Great promo by main event Jey Uso as well. That's what is a fantastic actor. I would love to know your thoughts as the thespian you are. He continues to impress me whenever he's given time on the mic. This has been the best story in WWE since it's been a long time. My question for you, Brad, is Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens versus the Usos going to be the best match of the entire WrestleMania weekend?
I don't know. I have no idea.
Okay, I'm ready for your question. That was a great.
I
Start.
think it's
What,
like I don't know.
What
Like
are the other contenders for you early on? We got the IC announcement. That triple threat is probably going to be one of the best matches.
I was going to say,
Uso
it's
versus-
probably the IC, and it depends on if we're talking story or wrestling. Because in ring storytelling, I think yeah, the bloodline, the tag match is probably going to be the best match. I don't think it'll be Cody, and I don't think Cody and Roman. I also think that match is going to be overbooked into oblivion. I'm sure the ending of that match is going to be like the Usos and then Sami and KO on the outside of the ring. I don't know if anybody shows up to help because of Solo, but I'm sure some kind of tomfoolery is going to happen, and I'm going to get really mad at whatever happens. I kind of rooting for a Cody loss at this point because I think it would be funnier to watch the reactions of all the people going like it's a sure thing, it's an absolute, and then just have the rematch on the Raw after Mania, and then have him drop there. I'm still hoping for that. I think it would be great. It would be a great swerve. Everybody would be so pissed. Roman would have thermonuclear heat, and I think it would be great. I think it would be great. But that's just me, I guess. Best wrestling match though, I think it's going to be that triple threat. I can't see anything topping that in terms of in-ring work and the storytelling that'll happen there. Not to say that Sami and KO and the Usos can't deliver. They absolutely can. But I think the moment will be bigger in that one. I think Sheamus winning the IC title in the triple threat would be the biggest moment for me, because I care about that belt and I care about like the Sheamus legacy. I feel like that's the story they're going to tell there is Sheamus finally won the one he hasn't won yet. And it would be a good way to get Gunther into the main title picture. But yeah, man, I think wrestling match wise, that's probably the one. And then I don't know if this is a hot take or not, but probably Asuka and Bianca is the best wrestling match after that. But the world's crappiest build. It's just, I thought Sasha and Bianca was bad, but this one's worse somehow. Man, but Sasha and Bianca delivered, so I have no doubt that Asuka and Bianca will deliver. So I'm going to go IC triple threat, potentially Asuka and Bianca. Moment wise, though, if you remove the moment, if we're just talking wrestling match, then I think those are the two.
Wow. It's a persuasive take and an argument by you. I'm going yes to my own question. I think this tag title match is going to rule. While I think it would be the perfect night one main event, I'm thinking this could definitely be the opener to WrestleMania. I agree with you that Bianca versus Asuka is going to be incredible, even though the build has been so lackluster, which is wild because Bianca is Mrs. WrestleMania.
Yeah.
She always delivers against Sasha, against Becky, but yet the builds are sometimes feeling so lackluster. I also think, maybe a hot take, maybe not, that Charlotte versus Rhea
Gonna be great.
will be in this conversation.
Yeah.
Do you remember that pandemic WrestleMania,
Oh, it's
Pirate
great.
Ship Jones? Charlotte versus Rhea, albeit no fans, was my match of that
It was
entire
so good.
WrestleMania weekend.
It was so good.
It was so good.
Yeah.
I I really think we're going to end up talking about that match as being one of the best from WrestleMania weekend. And not so it's like a top 5, but top 1 or top 2. I really think it's going to be amazing. Of course, the IC triple threat is going to be everything we're hoping for and then some. So you shouted out all the ones that I love. However, you did not shout out Ricochet's journey to WrestleMania. Brad, we were ahead of the curve on this. Last week, you and I couldn't really see a clear route for Ricochet to make it onto the big stage. I know we were thinking him and Braun would continue being a tag team, but correct me if I'm wrong, we do have a path for him now. That men's number 1 contender for Team Jones.
Yes.
Ricochet's going to be on this card, so I'm all in.
Yeah.
Sign me up.
If we were there, man.
Sign me up. I don't know if him and Braun are winning, but I'm here.
No, but it'll be fun. We're going to get a spot. We're going to get one of those Ricochet moments. And that's all I really want.
Me too.
I'm
so happy about it.
There's so much of this card that feels meh. I don't really care about it. Like I should. I don't care about the 2 women's titles matches, even though I care about all the talent. They've just done such a bad job building them. And Sami and KO versus the Usos isn't main eventing. It's been confirmed that it's not main eventing, which is apocalyptically stupid.
That is night 1 main event written all over it. I always want women to be in the most prominent spotlight. Story wise, that tag match should be main eventing.
Yeah, that
right.
So where do you? So I guess since you took my question, which is why all the faces during that whole thing is I once again pimp slap my microphone. Okay, Sami and KO, where do you put them? That's my question. Where do you put that match? Do you put it? Do you have that? Like, there's 2 spots, right? You open Mania, you close Mania. Night 1, night 2. Those are the most prestigious spots, I think. Or do you have it roll into the whole Bloodline story ending one of the nights, night 2 maybe, and you have the tag match and then the main event? And then like just kill off the Bloodline all at once. Or is there something else that I'm missing? So I really was like, I wanted to ask that. Oh, God damn it. I wanted to ask that question. You go ahead and answer this question. I'm going to mute.
That'll work. We also got Otis joining Maximum Male Models.
Oh, yeah.
So good. I love that, man. I'm pretty convinced on this. I want them to be on separate nights. My vision is that the Usos drop the tag titles to Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn night 1, whether that's the opener, in the middle of the card, wherever that might be. And then on social media between night 1 and night 2, those 24 hours, we receive content online of Roman not being happy with the Usos. Maybe Paul Heyman is thrown in there. I think we need to let the Usos' potential loss breathe a bit, and we get some content setting up for night 2, what we know is the main event, the match, Roman versus Cody. And then assuming the Usos lose, obviously there's even more momentum at that point that Roman is for sure finally dropping after 1,000 days. And to your point, there could be a swerve, maybe. I don't think so, but it definitely would be shocking if that did happen. I want the tag match night 1. We need to let it breathe. We need to get content. We need to see the Bloodline interacting, setting up for 24 hours later. Roman enters. He faces Cody, and it's going to be the biggest match of the year. What do you think? Would you be cool with them being on the same night, back to back, maybe?
I think it would be weird, but open and close, I think, yeah. Open the show, close the show. That would be enough time in between.
Okay.
Yeah,
True.
Yeah. I don't think that would be a problem, because then they could sell, like, if they got their asses kicked, they could sell some injuries on the way out. And that would make sense why they can't get involved. Or like, is Solo wrestling anybody on the card?
No.
So Solo will either have to be, my guess is that because they won't have enough people to help fight off the Bloodline, one of them's getting tossed out, right? Like, somebody's being ejected. The Usos will be banned from ringside. Something like that's going to happen. And then they'll show up anyway. And maybe Naomi comes in to help the Bloodline. And then Cody loses.
We've been asking for it for a while now. I hope so. Do you think that would take too much away from night 1 if that tag match isn't there, given the lackluster builds for some of the other noteworthy matches?
I don't know. Last year, night 1 didn't have Roman on it. we had the promise of a segment that ended up being a match. For us, if you're paying attention to wrestling, if you're listening to this, a wrestling podcast, it's either because you like us or because you already are paying attention to all the news and you don't need us to talk about it. Like the Stone Cold thing wasn't a surprise, but if you weren't, and we knew about it, and we were still like, okay, this is awesome. When he's like, you want to see me whoop his ass? And then he got up and the bell rang. And I think until that bell rang, we were all like, I don't think this is going to happen. Right. I don't know. Night 2 was fine last year. I thought night 1 was way better, but night 2 was fine. We had Vince taking the crappiest stunner of all time, but we got Pat McAfee versus Austin Theory, which was fun. And Stone Cold got to come in and do the stunner thing again. And correct me if I'm wrong, I think night 2 opened. I can't remember if it was night 1 or night 2 opened with the tag match, the triple threat or the 4-way tag match with RK Bro. Was that night 2?
I believe so. Yeah, I'll double check.
Because the week before, the week of, they had a Monday Night Raw tag match. It was basically the same thing, and it was incredible. And it was as good, if not better, that night on Mania. So it was like, man, I don't know. It just depends. Mick Foley talks about this all the time on his podcast. It's like, if you're not going to be the main event, you got to go, we're going to be so good that we'll steal the show. The Hardys versus the Dudleys versus Edge and Christian was not the main event, but that TLC match is like, that's the thing that people talk about on that card. If it's Rock and Hogan, which should have main evented and not the actual belt, which was the triple threat, right? Wasn't it Stone Cold, Triple H, and Jericho?
That's right.
That match at any other time would have been the main event, but it was Hogan Rock. And by the time they got to the main event, people were gassed. Even though that match was really good, nobody talks about that match. People talk about Hogan versus Rock and 5 minutes of cheering before they even touched. So there could be a moment in there that we're missing. Seth Rollins versus Logan Paul is going to be fun, but like that probably has, besides the Bloodline storyline, that probably has the best build of anything, which I'll be asking you a question about later about how people talk about builds. Yeah, that's
I like
thing.
it. Yeah, that was a whole thing this week.
Jeez, more than once with the same person who deleted all their tweets. Yeah, so it's a whole thing. So I really don't know. Man, I really don't know. I think it'll be fine. I don't know what else is going to be on night 1. And I don't know what would be highlighted. It's really tough because for men's titles, night 1 has to be the triple threat for the IC belt, correct?
I would say so.
Like if you put that on night 2 with Roman, no, can't do that.
Yeah.
Because that's the problem with having 2 belts in 2 places. Either do WrestleMania in one night and just unify the damn titles already. And then whoever is champ has to be on both shows. It's not that difficult to figure out. Or split them so that you have a major top of the card champion, because right now the top of the card champion for Raw is the Intercontinental Champion. That's the Raw Championship right now. We don't have a Raw Championship. And we have a bi-weekly SmackDown Championship. It's weird.
Yeah.
So anyway,
figure it out. Yeah. Well, Brad, I shared with you that Ricochet's on the card, and we have a lot really to look forward to with WrestleMania in a couple of weeks. So I'm feeling a lot of joy there. But I also felt some despair this week. Let's just cue it up. Let's get into what happened here.
What happened here?
Brad, our beloved Arizona Wildcats men's basketball team lost in the first round of the NCAA tournament. As we're recording, we know that our beloved women's team is playing later this afternoon. So obviously wishing them much success. And by the time you're hearing this episode, we will know whether they won or not. So I still have hope there. But the men, Brad, I caught this game during the week. They lost to Princeton. Princeton in New Jersey, the high academic, low athletic school. Princeton beat the Wildcats. I believe they were a 15 seed, upset number 2. I was watching this game, and it was really tight. U of A ended up taking, I believe, a 10-point lead in the second half. But I'm going to defer to you in a moment. I know the answer to this question, but I'm going to ask if you've ever seen a game where your beloved team was playing lackluster, then they were in control, but then gave it up. I think you probably have the Packers, maybe the Red Wings, maybe even the Pistons you can point
Appalachian State.
Appalachian State.
I'm a Wolverine fan, man.
Of course. Great shout. The Cats, what was so frustrating, Brad, what led to this being the leading candidate for what happened here, is the Cats took the lead in the second half. And then you're thinking, oh, okay, they know they're the 2 seed. They know President Joe Biden picked them to win it all just a few hours earlier. And somehow they give up the lead. There's 5 minutes left. You can tell this isn't going our way. And U of A doesn't score for the last 5 minutes. Princeton wins. Their best player, who showed up near the end, is a white guy playing in the Kobe Grinch sneakers. So it was just my absolute nightmare. Is this guy in the Grinches is just dominating against future NBA prospects on Arizona. It was nightmarish. It was surreal. It was unexpected. I'm still shocked from it. So U of A lost. We are out, but we have faith that our Lady Wildcats will show up and prosper. But in the meantime, I am heartbroken and so confused. You can relate to this with your Michigan Wolverines.
Oh my God, yeah. They lost yesterday in the NIT, Tyler, to Vanderbilt.
I didn't even see that. Wow.
Yeah, well, why would you? They're in the NIT. Who cares?
I just remember Juwan Howard punching a dude, right? Did that happen last year?
Oh,
was it like with another coach?
Yeah.
That happened this decade,
it was
right?
either last year or this season.
This season.
On. I can't remember. I think it was this season.
It feels like 2 years ago.
Yeah, that's wild. I forgot all about that.
Yeah. It was a whole thing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like he punched him. He like shoved him with his hand.
Yeah, it was like a mush face thing. That's right.
Yeah, it was just
that's right.
Thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, like you can't do it, but still, I was trying to figure it out, like the transition. My brother, when he coached, my brother's been the coach of the De Pere men's basketball program and head coach of the team. I'm not sure if he started as head coach. I can't remember. It's been like 20 years. He has been coaching there since, I want to say 2001, 2002. And because that's when I graduated high school. He graduated college the same time, and then went on to teach and coach at De Pere. Anyway, he led that team in 2011 to the state championship game. Tyler, they lost to a team in triple overtime, the first time in state championship history. And like my Wolverines, part of the reason they lost at a tie game, kid got trapped in the corner, called timeout, no timeouts. Technical foul Jones.
Bruh, Chris Webber Jones.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
man.
Lost to the free throws. So,
that.
that's how that game ended. I watched my brother, like when he called timeout, I saw him drop to the floor and just hands on the head and then stand right back up. He didn't want to live there. He didn't want to Mike McCarthy himself, but it was tough. Aaron Rodgers' entire run as a Green Bay Packer, basically with the NFC championship games, were all of those moments you're talking about.
We haven't even discussed Aaron Rodgers.
I don't care.
How are you feeling? Are you doing okay with?
I'm fine. I don't care. Bye.
New York Jet Aaron Rodgers. Okay.
Yeah.
It's time.
Yeah, he can go there and be immunized. Like the whole thing with Rodgers is he had one top 10 defense his entire run as a Green Bay Packer, and that one time they won the Super Bowl. One time they had a top 10 defense,
led by the AJ Hawks of the world, right?
AJ Hawk, Clay Matthews, BJ Raji.
Right.
Yeah, that was a great team. Absolutely great team. That's when that's what he showed up that year. People didn't realize how good he was, like how great he was, until they went into Atlanta and just whooped that ass the whole game. Like I think he put like almost a 50 burger on him that game, just tossing bombs.
That sounds right.
It's like 45 to something. I don't remember what it was, but it was a beating. And Atlanta was favored that year. And then, they beat the Bears in the NFC Championship game, like 10-6. Just nuts that year. But ever since then, it's been, we get there, defense can't do anything, overtime, Rodgers never touches the ball, and then nothing happens. So like, glad he was there. He's a GOAT for Green Bay. I think I'm so out of focus right now. I hate this. Work, camera, work.
I was gonna say, I know that's not my eyesight.
There we go.
There we go.
We're
Subscribe
back
to the YouTube 19
yes.
Media Group.
Yes, this is really professional content here. My brother, last night, the De Pere men's basketball team, the Red Birds, capped off a historic undefeated season, 30-0, winning the championship. And I was worried going into halftime. I told you I had to turn it off for a while because my blood pressure was up. I was like, my heart rate was up. I was sweating. I was pacing around my living room because they went into halftime like up by 2. I think it was 22-20 at the half. And I was like, I can't do this. This is way too close. So I went and did some laundry. I came back and I looked and they were up by 15. I was like, all right, I'm just going to watch the rest of this game. Hopefully they can hold the lead. And they did. They won by 20. And their closest margin of victory this year was, I want to say one game, it was like 3 points or 2 points. And then it was 7. And then it was 11. Everything after that was over 15 points margin of victory. Absolutely dominant team. I texted him last night that I loved him and that I was super, super proud of him and all that stuff. And like I said, those long nights and the film and all the drive time to scout, all of that stuff paid off big for him. And he said he just sent this while we were recording. Thank you. Can't tell you how awesome an experience this is. So really happy for him. All the hard work, all the sacrifices, doing this for 20 years and having great teams all the time, but like winning the championship, really exciting for them, for that town. Just can't be happier. Really, 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 really cool.
Well, congratulations to your brother. That's huge. I saw the tweets yesterday. I saw and heard your excitement about it, and the fact that it ended the way we wanted it to makes me so happy. If your brother and his family are interested in relocating to Tucson, Arizona, and if U of A men's head coach Tommy Lloyd is listening to us, I think we can find a spot on the bench for your brother. He has championship DNA. He has the pedigree, and we need that right now.
You know what's funny? I'm pretty sure he's gotten offers to coach at the collegiate level. He has no interest.
Wow.
It's
Really?
he's just like, I don't want to do that. Like it's just
Period.
It was just
Full
sort of
stop.
like that. I was like, have you thought about coaching in college? And he's like, no, I don't want to do that. It was just, that was kind of it.
We love it.
So I don't know. Maybe his tune will change now that he's reached the pinnacle. But
30-0. That's a big deal, man. At any level, any state, that's huge.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Well,
amazing.
Tyler, speaking of reaching the pinnacle, it's time for AEW talk. Hit me with your question. I'm scared you're going to have mine, but let's do it anyway. Let's get into it.
And now it's time to talk AEW.
Based on that teaser you gave earlier, I think we're good to go here. We're in the clear. I'm gonna hit you with some exposition. I borrowed this from you, and then I'm gonna provide my question here. So I thought we witnessed one of the best dynamites of the year this past week, Brad. I really enjoyed Wednesday's episode. Mm-hmm. It was so good from start to finish. I'm so happy that I was wrong. Jade retained her TBS championship. But we did correctly predict Taya Valkyrie's debut in the company. I thought the way they had that whole segment laid out was great. Jade beats Nicole Matthews, and then Taya debuts. Presumably, this will be a pay-per-view match. Wonderful. Taya's new theme from Josiah is so great.
Yeah, it's awesome.
And I think it's definitely going to be an awesome match at Double or Nothing. House of Black retained in a mega three-way trios main event. I thought it was so cool how they booked Kenny Omega and Chris Jericho to have their hometown hero moments.
So good.
I was smiling ear to ear during so many points in that match. I love when Brody King just chopped the life out of Daniel Garcia and Sammy Guevara, and no one wanted to tag in the face. Yeah. it was great. I believe Christopher Daniels, I want to say, was the agent behind that match. I believe Fightful reported that. It was just a perfect main event for a great show. But all that being said, I want to revisit the opening of the show. We got it. The 4 pillars of AEW in one ring together. It appears we are getting the match that's been rumored on social media for weeks. MJF versus Sammy Guevara versus Jungle Boy Jack Perry versus Darby Allin. It's not been made official, but I think this is going to be our title match at Double or Nothing.
Oh, I'm sure.
2 questions. One, in your opinion, in your humble opinion, as the voice of G.I. Alf Ferguson would say, who won that segment from Dynamite? 2, why is this the right time to have that program for the world title?
I liked the whole segment. First of all, I thought it was great. It was I believe somebody called the comment stiff again, which I thought was hilarious. It wasn't Taz, but it might have been Tony Schiavone actually.
It's becoming a thing now. I love it.
Yeah, which I think, wow, that was snug. Like, just it's so funny to hear that about commentary about a promo. So good.
I love it. Love it.
I thought the rebar mitzvah was funny. I thought there were parts of it that I thought were great. There were parts of it that I thought was stupid. I thought Max taking the cake spot would have been fine if they shot it differently, but instead they showed him like taking the cake and shoving it in his own face because he missed. And I was like, what are we doing? Just pan away from him. Show the reaction in the ring. Anyway, I don't know, man. Like I thought all of the points that were made in the ring by the other talent, they were good. They were real. I think those were all grounded in reality, right? Whether or not they're fully real or if they're just them turned up to 11, who knows? I often wonder what was cleared before they go out there. What are you allowed to say and what are you not allowed to say? I think is the whole thing. But I thought this rules. All of those characters are established. Darby's pretty much bulletproof at this point. Jungle Jack Perry is on his ascension. Sami is sort of stagnated in the JAS. He's having really good matches, but nobody really cares that he's having really good matches, which is weird. Like, I don't know about you, but I don't feel like his stock has risen at all. Doing this stuff with Garcia and being with Jericho. He's just there. Personally, I don't think he needs Jericho anymore. I think he can go do his own thing. But for whatever reason, he's there because we know whatever he'll give us is great. Yeah, I thought his promo was awesome. I thought he was great. I wish I cared more, but this match is going to be a blast. Is it the right time or why is this the right time? I don't know if it's the right time. I think it's because they're all established, but who else you got? But the Blackpool Combat Club's off doing its own thing. Bryan Danielson's returning home, whatever that means. Hopefully he's going to New Japan or Ring of Honor stuff. There's a lot of things in there. I don't know. I really don't know. I have no idea. I'll leave it at that.
Yeah, no, I agree with so much of what you said. The match is going to be a blast. It was just surreal seeing these 4 guys in the ring together.
Huge
and
moment.
we had speculated this on Twitter. You can find us at GIPod19. And I remember you, Brad, being fully on board with this being a title program. I was a bit more dubious, like maybe this is a Dynamite main event title match at a big show. But we're getting this. I was all here for the promo. My initial thought leaving Revolution is that the main event of Double or Nothing would be MJF versus Bryan Danielson versus Hangman Adam Page. As you so astutely pointed out, Danielson is gone to go home, whatever that means. And Hangman Page actually pivoted toward going back with this, continuing this feud with the Blackpool Combat Club. And now he has the Elite potentially on his side to back him up.
Yes.
That's a great program. Okay, Hangman Page has his pay-per-view match. We got it. So, yeah, who is that next contender for MJF? Although Perry, Darby, and Sami weren't clear title contenders, before Revolution. I think now, while they're all healthy, while they're all with the company, this is a dream match. We're probably going to talk about this in just a moment. This is for me a dream match as a day one AEW fan. This is a match that's been speculated. Why not do it now? All the guys are signed. They're healthy. There's not a clear contender for MJF. Why not take a gamble? Give some new faces to the main event title picture. And although the ending of this is very predictable, I don't think there's any way MJF loses the belt to any of these guys.
Yeah.
The match is going to be a blast, and I think it's a great example of fan service. Why not capitalize on this moment? It's right in front of us. Let's do it, and let's take a chance.
I think I was just thinking about it. Just popped into my head here. We have the Dark Order and the Blackpool Combat Club with Hangman feuding, and then the Dark Order gets taken out. It's the BCC are standing in the ring, and then across from them is Paige and then the Elite. Okay. Danielson's not there to help out. He's gone home. I think this is probably Danielson leaving the Blackpool Combat Club, or maybe going to do something else. I don't know. We'll see. Which means there's 3 members, right? And there'd be 4 of the Elite. What do you think of like the Blackpool Combat Club needing some backup, and then we hear Punk's music hit as the 4th member?
I did not think you were going there. Wow.
He has ROH roots. We got the Pure Champion and Yuta already in there. We have the Ring of Honor Champion in Claudio Castagnoli already in there. We have Moxley, who will fight everywhere. And we have a former multi-time, I think, ROH champion in CM Punk that could easily join that faction as a heel, in a heel faction to take on the Elite, which would be the biggest draw at a pay-per-view that I can think of. And it keeps him away from the title.
So true. Check. My first thought is, as excited as I would be for the Pillars 4-way, that is now the opener of Double or Nothing. Yeah. That is now the opening of Double or Nothing. And the main event officially is the Elite featuring Hangman versus Blackpool Combat Club featuring CM Punk. That would be money. I for whatever reason, did not even foresee that as an option. I know we've tried to fantasy book CM Punk for the last few months back into the company. That would make a ton of sense for all the reasons you listed. I would love that. And that's a pay-per-view main event.
Now I'm committed to it.
Now we're working ourselves into a shoot. If it doesn't happen, we're going to be very disappointed.
Yes.
Who would the other options be if not Danielson, though? Who would a new member, who would be the leading candidate to be the next member of the Blackpool Combat Club?
Action Andretti, maybe? Somebody new? I can't see Andretti
sitting in there
right now.
CM Punk, Action Andretti. I need CM Punk now.
I don't really know. Maybe Juice Robinson. AR Fox would have made sense to me, but he's doing like other stuff with Top Flight occasionally to make a trios team. Yeah. And
Eddie Kingston is feuding with Claudio on ROH, and
he quit AEW, so I think he's full time in ROH. He
quit AEW, yeah, even though he has that friendship with Mox, exactly.
Yeah, so I have no idea. I don't know who it would be unless they bring somebody else in. Everybody else is doing their own thing right now. Not that we need a stable here, but like CM Punk joining them because he hates the Elite. It's right there, right? Like right that would because you can't have CM Punk go in there by himself. That doesn't make sense. So what better place to find backup? He has a good relationship with Mox. I don't know if he talks to Claudio or to Yuta, but they're pros. So I think that would make a ton of sense if the Elite's on board with it, because I think Hangman's probably like, I don't know why I took a stray during that press conference where everybody else was directly involved in the fight, and Hangman was like at home with his baby. I think all of that is still so funny to me.
It is, and hopefully enough time has passed now where time heals a lot. Not all wounds, but time heals a lot of wounds. That was so long. It seems like it was so long ago now. And to your point, Brad, there's so much money on the table for everyone involved that I'm becoming more and more convinced as time passes that we have to get a CM Punk return. He's still on the payroll. Presumably he's healthy and good to go. Let's get our emotions and our feelings right, and let's make some money and make fans happy.
I agree. If this might have been the plan, like Danielson will go on a break because he's been going really hard for a very long period of time since he got hurt, right? Like the like getting trapped in the ring thing, which may have been an excuse to have a break. I don't know if he was actually hurt, but he couldn't get cleared at that one point. So I imagine that's what happened. So I don't know, but I feel like that's a great way to get him back in the company, put him right into that feud, which we all know we want to see that stuff. And then after that's over, it's done. And we don't have to think about it anymore. All Out will be behind us forever after that point, right? Like that's a great way to just move on. And then we can put him in another title picture. I'd love to see CM Punk win like the TNT title, really elevate that mid-card title. I think would be really great. Can you get Hobbs up on his shoulders?
Yeah, I think he did actually in the past. It was Punk versus Hobbs at the New York show at Grand Slam.
I can't remember if he got him on the shoulders or if he put him in the Anaconda Vice.
I think he got him up on his shoulders.
That's crazy.
I'm pretty sure. They do have history. He's 1-0 against Hobbs.
I don't need him to be the one that beats Hobbs. I'm just saying.
I don't need Hobbs losing for a long time. Yeah.
No, have a long run.
Yeah, great match against Ray Phoenix. Two of my
favorite they really played to Hobbs' strengths in that match because I think Phoenix could have quite literally run circles around him, just because he's so fast.
He's my favorite in the company. I love that.
They just had Hobbs beat the shit out of him. Every hit knocked him down, so he couldn't do anything. Except for those great Phoenix comeback spots where he's like, I'm about to get knocked out, so I'll kick you in the face before I fall.
Yeah.
I love that stuff.
I
love it so much.
Me too.
Yeah,
that was a nice surprise on the Rampage card. I really love that.
Well, speaking of fighting, Tyler, Raj Giri. Whew, bad week for Raj. So he was the biggest talking point in the IWC last week, I think. Indisputably, I think he was. He picked a fight with QT Marshall. Kind of. I think he's just critical of it, and then QT sort of picked the fight. And there was a long back and forth between how QT understands the business and how would you know this business? You're not in it. All of this stuff, which was ouchy. They were working stiff on Twitter.
You beat me to it.
Yeah, there you go. Before he dug his heels in over this no build to a match. I'm sick of this AEW bullshit. There's no match build stuff. Using really aggressive language about not having to build. And then people came out of the woodwork to talk about the WWE. Brock Lesnar's debut. Total unknown showed up and beat everybody in the ring. There's a match this week, Cody Rhodes versus I think he's wrestling Kaiser this week. This week coming up. Why? No build. Absolutely no build. That's the point. It doesn't matter if there's no build. Like the only reason that people are like there's no build is because Hijo del Viking. I heard it yesterday. It was King O. I've been saying Vikingo. But
yeah, I've been saying it the way you have.
The G is apparently silent. It's Vikingo. It's way that that's how Excalibur has been saying it. So
that's news to me. Wow.
That's why I've been trying to work on even being able to get it out. But whatever. He's wrestling and he's wrestling Kenny Omega. And literally the build for the dream match is dream match. I don't need anything more, Tyler. It says dream match on the card. I'm in. I don't need to know anything more. And I think I want to know your thoughts here. In 2023, when we have Google, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, when we have YouTube, when we have all of these places where we can find content and highlight reels and all this stuff, where we can watch TV and go, oh, type on our phone and just pull up who's this guy? Does there have to be an on-screen TV build for a match? Or can there just simply be faith in that the audience is smart enough to figure it out?
Yeah, I'm going to roll with the latter on this, but I do understand a lot of the criticism that we saw online regarding a lack of a build. But as you said, it seemed like it was more of an AEW versus WWE thing versus both companies sometimes tell stories and sometimes don't. They just give us a match. I don't, in 2023, I don't think a story is needed to promote a match and for it to be great and to get people to tune in. This is a great match. We know that this is going to be an epic Dynamite main event, presuming it's a Dynamite main event. Like you said, we have Instagram, we have Twitter, we have all these ways where folks can do their research on an opponent or learn of any history between the combatants. It's not needed. I understand the criticism, but this was another example of us pitting the two companies against each other and who's pro WWE, who's pro AEW. And I don't think that's where the conversation needed to go. I don't think we always need to build. Is it helpful? Yes, but we don't always need it. But then again, we're getting, we alluded to earlier on the WrestleMania card, WWE is trying to build a program with some of their marquee matches, and the builds haven't been very effective. We've also seen that in AEW in the past and currently as well. So yeah, man, it's unfortunate that the conversation ended up, to me, being let's put these two companies against each other and have this echo chamber of sycophants on both sides. We don't need it in 2023. I'm gonna tune in. I'm gonna love this match, and I'm sure Cody versus Ludwig is gonna be awesome too.
Yeah, I think I agree with everything you just said there. Like, I agree. There should be a build. There should have been more of this. Just having the card go up as a casual announcement instead of first having like, you could have done something simple like he appears, like the music hits, or do something just to go like, this person's here now, and here's why I'm here to fight you, and then fight. But Excalibur having to do the this is a dream match. It got canceled because of injuries. Kenny Omega is healthy now, and now we're going to do it. All right. But I would have rather it been done a little bit differently.
Definitely.
So I understand the criticism there. I totally get it. I also don't care because we still get to see it.
Right.
The build for Bryan Danielson and Kenny Omega was, I want to wrestle you because people say you're the best. I don't need a championship. That's it.
Yeah, that's all we needed.
Nobody complained.
Right.
We didn't have to have a 3-month-long build. That was like Friday, and then they fought on Wednesday.
Yes. And that's all we needed for Sasha versus Bianca at WrestleMania.
Oh, that was so bad.
I want to be the best. I want to beat you. That, and obviously there's so much history as well for that match, but that's all we need. That was the build that I wish we would have gotten for that WrestleMania match.
But that's just it. That's sports entertainment, right? Like, that's especially Vince's stuff. The build for Gunther and Sheamus, they stared at each other for a minute while people cheered. That was the whole build.
Yeah, it was electric. They went crazy.
That was kind of it, and then it got made a match. It was incredible. All they did was look.
Yeah, match of the year in WWE. Absolutely.
Oh, you got to have this strong build. No, you just have to have them look at each other. Like, that's literally all you need. Just like simply stand there, and people will be like, all right, I want to see them hit each other.
More 60-second face-offs. Yes.
Yeah, just like it doesn't have to be complicated. So I understand the criticism.
Yeah,
but
for sure.
Then it was the comparison that he made that I had a problem with, which was, if Okada showed up to challenge Roman Reigns with no build, people would hate it. People would be like, this is the worst. And I was like, no, they wouldn't. You are incorrect, sir. Like, yes, we would want to build. We would definitely want to build. But if it was announced, it would be the highest rated Raw in history, at least modern history, since the Attitude Era died, since WCW no longer exists. They're not doing 10 milli again, but since probably 2002, we'll say, it would be the highest rated Raw, I think, because all of the people that don't want to watch WWE stuff anymore because of how sanitized it is and miss their hardcore stuff. We have AEW only people. We have WWE only people. Those exist. Totally. Like, the people that watch AEW want to see a grittier, more hardcore, more founded in reality program. People that watch WWE are looking for that sanitized, really high production value, or they've been longtime fans and want to see these storylines continue, and they just live in that space. But if you brought Okada on there to wrestle freaking Roman Reigns, you're getting everybody. Yeah. You are getting everybody to that card.
Big numbers. Yep.
Oh my God. Yes. Put that crap in the Tokyo Dome. Like, holy hell. What are you talking about? No, like, you don't need a build. You want Okada to cut a promo? No. Play the Rainmaker music and be done with it. Those coins start dropping, people are going to go bonkers.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Absolutely. Best version is we get a great story to sink our teeth into, which culminates in a match. But like you said, Brad, ultimately, I just want to see two competitors compete, no matter the company, and that's that's what matters to us. Okada versus Reigns would be must see. Brad, there's something Also must see this week, though. And it's not just hypothetical. We're definitely getting it. While it is not wrestling, it is something that I love dearly and will be tuning in for. That being said, it's time for some Bachelor talk. It is time for a rose from me.
And now, for a rose from GI's most eligible bachelor.
Hometowns occurred last week, Brad. Good episode, probably the best of the season. Of course, Zach met so many families and traveled the country to visit them all, and we got handshakes and hugs, and that was all great. What was not great is that Zach eliminated Charity. You may recall, Brad, Charity was my final pick, who was still in the field, going all the way back to our fantasy draft. She was bounced. Now, luckily, this hometown episode occurred on a Monday. Tuesday night, we had more Bachelor. We had the ceremonial Women Tell All, where all of the women from the season are brought back. Beefs are hashed out, and it was a whole thing. Greer was there. You may remember Greer. I spoke about her earlier. She made the top 7. This is classic Bachelor. She appeared on the season, and then Twitter did its thing, and it was revealed that she had tweets from a few years ago in which she defended blackface, a friend dressing in blackface. She defended it. I know. This happens every season. What was super weird is that she was called out on it during this Women Tell All, and the Bachelors really made a point of now starting to address these moments instead of just sweeping them under the rug.
Good.
So it was addressed. She apologized. There was a professor in the audience, a black professor, a black woman, who provided some education for about 90 seconds to Bachelor Nation about, hey, don't be racist and tweet racist things. You would think this would be obvious, but sometimes we need to remind folks. So that happened, but my thought was, wait, last season, do you remember Gabby and Eric, also known as Erich, who ended up winning?
Of course.
They never had this moment of reckoning for him. And he had a similar allegation, but I would argue it was even worse. So that's weird. Yeah, not comfortable with the gender dynamic there at all. If we don't call out Eric the winner, but we have this whole moment for Greer, we should call out both of them on their separate seasons. Anyway, regardless, what made me super happy is that on this Women Tell All, it was announced that Charity is going to be the next Bachelorette. I am so stoked for this, Brad. You know I've been kind of hot and cold on Zach having his own season, but I am all here for Charity, the child and family therapist from Georgia, being the lead next season. Let's go. I cannot wait. I'm going to be very brief here. This is the last week for Zach's season. There are 3 women left. Let me make sure I have the names right. We have Zach's final 3 of Katie, Ariel, and Gabby. I think it's a no-brainer. Katie is for sure winning this. She lives in the same city as Zach. She's been the front runner really all season. I think he's for sure going to pick her, and I think he's going to propose, and they're going to live presumably happily ever after, which in Bachelor world is about a year, give or take. Katie for sure wins. I have not read the spoilers. I'm thinking Katie definitely takes it home, though. And we'll get closer to Charity season, which is all that I care about. I have no question. This was all updates for you. Charity, no question for you this week, Brad. It's simply to celebrate Charity being the Bachelorette. I'm so excited. You'll be hearing more from me once her season starts.
That's incredible. Great transitions today by you. Excellent work, my friend.
You set the bar high, man. I gotta come through once in a while.
That's incredible.
What? Oh yeah. After
I was going to ask you what did we miss? Yeah. I know you were heading there as well.
I was going to ask you.
I did want to add this one thing. In the back of our theater, we have these hardwired headsets. We can't figure out. There's a communication issue. Something's unplugged somewhere, and it's 1 million square feet to try to figure out. But I saw Tony Khan taking shots. It was their first house shows this weekend. House Rules #1 occurred, and there was a shot of the TV monitor and the headset and the pencil and the comp book that Tony Khan has in the back. Same headset, hardwired monitors that we have. Same fancy high-tech masking tape with the name on it than we have, and then the printed label gimmick goes on the side. It made me really, really happy to look at the tech and go all right, these multi-million-dollar professional companies doing high level, very good production are using the same shit as Miranda High School. It made me incredibly happy to see that like the tech side of things is not super fancy. The way that things are done behind the curtain, behind the scenes are the same everywhere. Absolutely amazing. It made my whole week. As far as what we missed, I don't know if we missed anything that's worth talking to you. What do you think?
Yeah, I just had 2 notes here, WWE and AEW related. So one for AEW, Stu Grayson is back. He
Great
looked
point. Great
amazing.
point. On my end. Yes.
Not only physically, but
great promo. Holy crap. Wow.
Yes. And Brad, just from an in-ring standpoint, when he got tagged in and had his moment for like 90 seconds, I sat back and thought, oh yeah, that's right. Stu Grayson is
good.
One of the 10 best in-ring workers. What he was like, he's strong. He just jumps off the rope and does like a Phoenix splat. He is. I hope he gets a singles push at some point, because I don't know that I could name 10 wrestlers who I enjoy watching in ring more than him. He is phenomenal. Speaking of phenomenal people, LA Knight took another loss this week. I've been following your tweets. I've been reading your text messages, my man. I know you are all about LA Knight.
Uh-huh.
I'm concerned that he may not have a formal spot on WrestleMania. Fightful did report recently that Stone Cold Steve Austin was pitched an LA Knight match, but for whatever reason turned it down. I thought that would make a lot of sense and be a great spot for him. I'm worried that his lack of on one hand, LA Knight is receiving louder and louder pops and is getting super over, but it seems like his push and his placement on the card isn't matching that momentum. So one hand, AEW, Stu Grayson, super hopeful for his return. On the WWE side, I think LA Knight is putting in that work and is doing great, but I'm worried that we're going to be in LA and yet he's not going to have an official match.
He probably won't, but that's okay. I'm fine with that. If he has a segment, maybe he
has to have a segment.
It's his match. His match will be with The Miz, I think. Like, it makes the most sense in the world for him to go out there and interrupt him and tell him how he's in LA, his town, and he's pissed off that he's not living up to the hype. And then they fight or something. Like, they have a moment, right?
Total babyface moment for LA.
Yes, it'll be great. Yeah, I think it'll be really great. Because Miz will be getting booed all night. He is Hollywood, but LA is LA Knight. So I think it'll be awesome. LA Knight took 2 L's this week, but we'll talk about that in a second. The Stone Cold match I saw reported this morning, and I don't know who to give credit for because I don't remember that he actually said he hasn't been talked to about a WrestleMania match. So that must have been either incorrect or it just got relayed to his people and was turned down or something. Yeah.
Wow.
So somebody somewhere is wrong, and I don't know who, and I don't frankly care.
Wow.
But it sounds like nothing's happening there. I don't think Stone Cold would have said no to a match. And also, I don't want Stone Cold to have that match. That KO match was a perfect ending. And I think Stone Cold having a moment with LA Knight would rule. Those two together, LA Knight saying stuff and Stone Cold just using his catchphrases to give him a stunner, I think would be perfect. I don't need anything more than that. It would be a fun little moment. Everybody gets to shine. I think that would be cool. The other one was that apparently far too uncomfortable for me, but LA Knight apparently had nudes leaked onto the internet, and they gained some steam, no pun intended there. Lots of people saw them, lots of traction on that. And it's just, people putting your private business out there. I just don't, right away who did it, right? Like, you have to know right away who has those things. Simply, I would never send a nude. I just don't believe I could ever pull the trigger on something like that. So regardless, I think there's a lot there. Maybe he took a hit publicly because of that stuff. I know Paige / Saraya did at one point, and there's just stuff that's out there.
Seth Rollins.
So I did see a lot of people going like, well, Seth Rollins had his stuff show up online publicly and then he won the title. So maybe LA's up next. So yeah, I was like, all right, let's slow
nasty
down
business.
Yeah.
I didn't even know this about LA Knight, man. You are informing me on clearly what I missed online this week.
I saw he was trending yesterday. I didn't know
Wow.
why. I regret the click.
Wow.
Yeah. Luckily, no images.
Yeah,
But
I knew the
yeah,
photos with Becky from years ago. They're out there. They were our good
yeah,
friends, and there was talk about that. I didn't know about this nude stuff. That's that makes me sad.
yeah, it bums me out because it's like just we don't need that stuff out there. I mean,
Yeah.
if it's reckless endangerment because they're using drugs or whatever else, or if it's just like we're worried about their well being, I feel a little weird about that. We don't need to know everything. I like to know everything. Don't get me wrong. I'm nosy. Like I'd like to know, like, hey, this person's gone. Is it because they're pissed or they're injured or what? But ultimately, we don't need to know any of this stuff. It's their private business. So it makes me sad and pretty upset when I see stuff like, oh, this stuff got leaked online. Like, simply why? Why do that? What are you gaining from that? You're hurting a person more than you are helping them. My guess, and I kind of want to tune in to find out, is to see like LA Knight's probably going to address this. I think he confronts it. I think he says something about it and talks about himself packing heat or something. Like I feel like it's definitely going to happen. I don't think he's one to shy away from it with Triple H involved. I don't know if he will. I know it's the reason that China's not in the WWE Hall of Fame is because of the sex work stuff. But I think there might be maybe an attitude change there. Again, no pun intended, but we'll see. I don't know.
I
I don't
hope
know what
so.
happens. Yeah.
We got Donald Trump in the Hall of Fame, bro. Like, come on now,
We'll see.
China. Come on,
Come Tuesday.
come on.
Come Tuesday, he might not be in there anymore.
I was gonna say, yeah, that perfect send off there. Brad, what are you looking forward to this week, man? You got spring break. You got hopefully lots of sleep and rest in your future. Fill us in. Any plans?
I stretched, and you can see the Milwaukee Tools logo on my work shirt. I'm already wearing work pants. I got everything ready to go. I got crap to do around the house. Yard work, lots of it. I got to fix the headlights on the car. There's a wiring issue because I wired them, so it's all broken. I got to rewire them in a way that doesn't suck. It turns out the little insulated butt end connectors that would use to join two wires together, trash. So I have to get the uninsulated ones and some heat shrink so that I can crimp hard enough where they won't move. So they're just like the wires are just disconnecting inside of it. So I have to turn on my headlights and then jiggle the wire to get them to work on one of the sides. It's just a problem. So I'm going to fix that this week, clean up the garage, just do some spring cleaning stuff, do some fun stuff around the house. I have some art projects in mind. I'm going to be writing some stuff, as you know. We talked about it off air. Try to get my ideas down while they're still fresh. Maybe write a piece for the pod, do some homework. Lots of stuff planned, but most of all, I'm just going to sleep in and not do 16-hour days at the school. Man, I'm tired.
Yeah, please don't. You
Yeah,
put in your time. I'm so glad things went well, and now you deserve to enjoy and kick back. And it sounds like you already got a vision for how this week is going to look. So
sure do.
your time is going to be filled, and I can't wait to read what you write. For me, very briefly, we have an all college meeting this coming Friday. This is the first one that will be in person since spring 2020. So basically, this
Wow.
brings all of the people within Teachers College at Arizona State University. We all converge onto one campus and talk about the college, how the semester is gone, accomplishments, goals, etc. So it's very Roman Reigns bloodline-esque in terms of the leadership. We will all clap for them and hear from them. We'll probably throw up our ones as well to acknowledge our dean and all the shot callers. But then after that, this is not this week, but next. I haven't told you about this, Brad. There's this huge gimmick on campus called the West Valley Forward. So ASU has 4 different campuses in Arizona. I am based out of the West Campus here in the heart of the Glendale, Phoenix region. And there's a real initiative in place and efforts in place to make West more of a priority. So that's even on the horizon. We have Teachers College specific, but then the week after, apparently there's going to be an unveiling of grand plans for West Campus, maybe a new residence hall, maybe a new academic building or 2. So I think it's more like we're doing this to benefit the community and make more opportunities here. So more of that, less manifest destiny and like let's kick people out and just build on top of land already occupied by residents. I think it's less of that and actually a more ethical approach. Fingers crossed. So yeah, man, we have all college. Obviously, I started my class, so I got some homework to do. But it's all good here, man. All good things. And WrestleMania is so soon. AEW had a great week. I can't wait to catch up on some more wrestling too.
Yeah, that's going to be great too. I'm man, this week I was at the school and I was getting home at like 10:30 most nights and trying to watch Dynamite. It took me 4 days to watch Dynamite, and then I just like had to get highlights. I watched Rampage last night, SmackDown this morning, and I caught bits and pieces of Raw. It was just too difficult, and yeah, I'm looking forward to just having my life back. I guess it's the best thing I could say.
Period. I can't top that. I can't wait to hear how things go for you, man. Anything else before we officially wrap this episode up?
Yeah, one thing this weekend, my wife had an event for Wonder and Wander. You can check out what the work is all about at wonderwanderkids.org. Really would appreciate donations. We're trying to get it off the ground. She had a huge amount of people sign up for the spring choir session. A bunch of art projects and podcast lessons. So having the event at the Marana Founders Day Festival, just put in so much work. Her and her mom, my mother-in-law, put in so much time and work. And Freya, to an extent, kids were painting rocks and kids were painting all these things and making little art things. They handed out water for people, and it was just a really good day to gain interest and get some attention and get some people to contact to go like, hey, we're doing this thing. Are you still interested? Here's where it's going to be. Here's what we want to do. And hopefully provide a space for people that are in the community that's growing rapidly. But it's Jess's passion project. It's what she wants to do. She wants to be able to do this full time. So to do that, we need funding, and we're off to a good start. Really proud of her and her work. Again, it's wonderwanderkids.org.
Amazing. Shout out, Jess. Check out Wonder Wander. Also check us out on social media. You can find Brad at Winduster. You can find me at Tyler J. McDowell. And as you may have already heard, you can find us at GIPod19. Check out the website too. Brad is always putting in work over there. gimmickinfringementpod.com. You can find previous episodes. You can find our articles on which we write about film, pop culture, sports, wrestling, anything and everything. We so appreciate your support. We hope you had as much fun as we did with this episode. Thank you again so much for being here, and we hope you'll join us for the next one. Gimmick Infringement is a part of 19 Media Group. You can listen to us on Good Pods, our premier partners, and Apple, Spotify, iHeartRadio, or wherever you find podcasts. You can also find us on YouTube via the 19 Media Group channel. Please like, subscribe, comment, and share.